Today I'm going to show you how to use the Vevor Stone Polisher, and we're going to see how I got this beautiful piece of petrified wood using this. So many beautiful rocks. That's a nice thing to find on my way out. I'm so excited to have this new tool because I have lots of great big rocks that I really can't polish with any of the other equipment I have. And I do have regular angle grinders, but this one has water that gets fed through it. So let's take a look. Got the safety manual here. Don't really see a user manual type thing in there, but it does show you how not to get hurt, so that's good. Got a hose. Gotta need a hose. This is a little splash guard. Cool. And this is the diamond pads that came with it. So that's all ready to go. Can't wait. And this itself, oof, that's it. This itself is they're calling it a stone polisher. I think it's intended for like marble countertops and things like that.
So it has a handle. Where does the handle go?
Well, I'll check a picture. Maybe we can figure it out that way.
Yeah, but there's no hole.
Yeah, I know. There must be some explanation. Let's take a look.
Okay.
All right, so we looked at the picture, and that handle doesn't appear to go to this machine, so that kind of explains that particular problem. So how does the water go on there?
Well, we have a water hose.
Okay, that's cool. That's a good start. Water hose, water.
And there's a fitting here. I gotta take my glasses off. Stupid bifocals. Well, this looks like a compression fitting. I've got to get a wrench and see if that loosens up.
Okay.
I don't think this end fits into it. No, I'm saying just that doesn't do anything. But it's possible. Yeah, it's possible if this loosens up, then the hose fits over the end of this, and this fitting would slide down here. You'd press the hose on, then run it down and tighten the screw. That could hold it on there. But then what's this for?
That looks like maybe you would run a hose into it, but it's so little.
Yeah, what kind of a, I mean, it's too small for a garden hose. There must be, this groove here makes me think it's one of those slidey clamp things that would fit over the end of it, but how? Where are the instructions?
Yeah, there are no instructions. That is a safety manual.
Save these instructions. Work area, electrical safety, personal safety, residual risks, tool use and care, service. There are no instructions.
I believe I just said that.
Yeah, but
This needs a 14 millimeter and a 16 millimeter, so in case you're trying to figure out what size you need, these are not terribly common, so...
well, they're not common use, although I have used them before. Put that over that. Put this. Help there, probably. Yeah, so it's a standard compression fitting.
All right, well that's good.
Yeah, I don't want to tighten it up all the way because I think I want to take this to the hardware store and say, excuse me, what does this fit to?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, so we'll just undo this again.
In order to get the tightener, the tightening band on, you have to take it apart and then snake it around behind underneath the hose so that you can tighten the water guard on. Just FYI.
Fit it on tightly.
This is called a pressure fitting.
Yeah. Don't know how leak-proof it's gonna be.
Well, hopefully somewhat.
Our first step after visiting the hardware store was to cut off the end of the hose that was supposed to connect to the water supply. Jim put a brass tube called a ferrule inside the 1/4-inch hose, and you just have to get the size that fits. We used a 1/4-inch compression fitting to fit on the end of the hose, and then connected it to a 1/4-inch to 3/8 inch adapter. After that, we used a 3/8 inch to pipe adapter to allow it to fit on our garden hose, because this is going to be one wet job. Be sure to use plumber's tape on all the joints to make sure they're secure.
Water testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that seems like a little much. Maybe turn it down a little bit. So we just need a leak, right? Just a tiny little, not even probably that much. Can we do less than that? All right, we'll give that a try.
Button. So
All right, so what's the test button for?
that's on. Okay. Yeah. So
what does it do?
reset turns it on. And then this on-off thing. Boom.
So the blue button turns it off, and then this
Yes.
just resets it so that it can turn on again?
Yes.
So you can see that this is smoothing, and this piece is so lovely, kind of, as I thought this was a lot smoother than it was, and once I started it, I decided maybe I don't want to do this one just yet, so I'm going to use a smoother one, something that's already smooth, and see what we can do. Okay, so this one has a nice smooth edge here, and it's kind of smooth here, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to just do a real nice polish on here and not miss and not lose the beauty of the petrified wood. Woo! I actually kind of want to take a break, but I'm soaking wet, and I figure I might as well just get it all done at once, because otherwise I'll have to get soaking wet twice. This is what it's looking like so far. I don't expect it to be a real fine polish all over, because there's so many different rough spots, but I'm hoping to get a really nice polish like here and maybe here, and then have very variegated polish for the rest of it. So we'll see how it turns out. So we're jumping from 800 to 1500. The rock already feels really smooth, like smoother than it did for sure. There's still lots of rough spaces where it is not even, but I think the places that are smooth are going to polish just beautifully. This is the final diamond disc, and then I'm guessing these are intended for polish. There's a 2 and a 5, so we'll start with the 2 and go to the 5, and hopefully that's the right way. Okay, this is still wet, but I have a feeling that maybe those 2s and 5s aren't what I thought they were, so I'm going to have to go and do a little bit more research, see if I can find a picture or something that explains what they are. Like I said, this doesn't have an instruction manual, so I'm kind of flying blind here. But when I was using the 2, you can see it kind of scratched up the thing, so I'm going to have to go back and do it all over again. But that's why I'm doing it, so you don't have to. Yep, that's what happened, all right. You can see here, I actually had a nice polish going. And then I ruined it completely with that disc that must have been, the 2 and the 5 must be like ultra coarse grits. And so I guess I'll just start with those again and see where this takes us. I was so cold and so wet that I had to stop and change clothes, and we'll try this again maybe when it gets a little warmer and the sun is shining on the deck. So you can see the parts that the disc was able to touch are pretty darn shiny. The parts that are too rough really didn't get very much. But it was kind of what I expected, and I think it's a pretty nice polish anyway. Makes it look cool. All right, so now we're going to try what this is really made for, which is flat surfaces. This is a piece of agatized wood that I cut a long ways on my saw, and now I'm going to polish this face so it'll be this beautiful display piece with polished face on the back and then regular what it looks like on the front. Regular what it looks like, that's good, huh? Anyway, so we're going to go through this whole thing. I'm going to just do this in a kind of a stop motion type thing so that you can see the whole thing and it won't take that long. So let's get going. I should mention that after getting really soaked yesterday, I have a lovely outfit on. I'm wearing 2 trash bags and I'm going to roll my pants up. I just don't want to get wet again. So let's see how it works. Well, despite my best intentions, I didn't turn the photo thing on properly. So I've gone up to 3,000 on this. I'm a little concerned because this is softer, and so I know that probably pieces of this have been peeling off, which might affect the polish. I may go back and do like 800 to 3,000 again. Maybe even, I don't know, maybe even I'll put some tape over this or something to see if we can just keep it from peeling off. But anyway, it should be pretty nice by the time we get done with it. That's not too bad. I think I want to polish it with some cerium oxide, but I'm not even sure I have to go over it despite these little things. This is something you really need to watch for though, because it just makes it very tricky. Cool. Nope, I've got a scratch on the edge here, so I guess I do need to go over it after all. Rats! Back to the garbage bags. This is what it looks like on the other side. This is pretty interesting because you can see the darker stone polished a little bit better than the lighter stone, which leads me to assume that this part here is more agatized. It has more kind of a harder composition, and then this is just a little bit softer. It's still polished pretty nicely. And then up here where it's really soft, some of this stuff didn't polish at all. But overall, I think that is just really pretty. Okay, bottom line. The Vevor Stone Polisher is a decent little machine for polishing flat surfaces like big slabs of rocks. And so overall, I give it a thumbs up. I won't give it 2 thumbs up because of the lack of instructions and the fact that we had to rebuild the hose in order to connect it to our water source. However, for the price, I think it's a good little machine. So if you are looking for some way to polish your rocks, check it out. It's under $100 and the link is below in the description. Thanks for coming along. This is Kate from Katie Did. Keep on doing.